SCP-058, Heart of Darkness. SCP-058 looks like a cow-sized nightmare with a vendetta against peace and quiet. It's described as a large, pulsating heart with arachnid legs, 4 barbed tentacles, and a venomous stinger. But the creepiest part? It constantly narrates unsettling poetry in a calm British accent, like a murder-loving Shakespeare. This thing isn't just freaky looking, it's fast. In test conditions, it moved at over 90 kilometers per hour, smashed through steel, and leapt vertically to reach fleeing personnel. During a breach at Site-19, it went full slasher mode, killing 149 D-Class and 14 agents in minutes. One survivor said it moved like a spider with road rage. Its containment cell's a reinforced 5-meter cube with multiple lockdown redundancies. Feeding schedule? 1 live cow every 72 hours. And if it starts getting feisty, nuclear failsafes are in place. The Foundation classifies it as Keter, not just for the body count, but for the sheer chaos it creates. Its bizarre speech patterns, talking about flowing red rivers and soft twitching souls, have been studied, but no linguistic match has been found. Researchers believe it's either channeling an unknown intelligence or just really poetic about murder. It doesn't sleep, it doesn't rest, and it doesn't seem to tire. Continuous monitoring revealed it often recites monologues for hours, directed at no one. Some personnel speculate it's trying to communicate with something not of this world. SCP-058's biological structure defies known anatomy. Dissections of tissue samples showed no cellular consistency. Its matter appears semi-organic and regenerates under observation. Some scientists have theorized it's partially extra-dimensional. If this ever got loose globally, yeah, hope you enjoy your neighborhood heart recital followed by mass destruction. SCP-610, The Flesh That Hates. If body horror had a poster child, it would be SCP-610. Found in remote Siberia, this infection mutates any living organism it touches into grotesque, fleshy abominations. Victims grow tumors, extra limbs, and bone structures that make Picasso sculptures look normal. But here's the kicker. They're still conscious during transformation. Victims scream even after losing recognizable human traits. The infection spreads through direct contact, but air and water contamination isn't off the table. Foundation scientists still aren't sure. Entire villages were overtaken. The Foundation had to bomb towns off the map and set up permanent exclusion zones. Standard containment involves incineration from afar. No cure, no survivors. The only mercy is fire. The infected sometimes build structures from their own mutated bodies, twisted towers and bridges made of fused limbs and faces. Some believe these constructs serve a higher intelligence. A few even claim the SCP network these constructs form is evolving. There have been rare instances where infected individuals retain partial speech, uttering cryptic phrases about becoming whole. Whether this is residual consciousness or hive mind influence remains debated. Field teams are often equipped with flamethrowers and drone surveillance. Any attempt to retrieve samples has resulted in loss of contact within minutes. One operation lost a full response unit in under 12 minutes. Only static was heard in their last transmission. Autopsy reports on retrieved biomass indicate hybrid DNA strands that mutate further when isolated. The infection seems capable of modifying its own code to bypass immunity defenses, which is unheard of in known pathogens. If this thing ever hits a major city, good luck. It's like The Thing with Wi-Fi. SCP-3001, Red Reality. SCP-3001 isn't a creature or a virus, it's a dimensional error, a scarlet void beyond reality, discovered during a botched experiment involving reality anchors. Dr. Robert Scranton fell into it and somehow survived for nearly 6 years. In this dimension, there's no gravity, no time, and no physical laws. Scranton recorded logs through a semi-functional transmitter. Over time, his body began to degrade, literally dissolving, yet his consciousness persisted. One log mentioned he could no longer see his hands, but still felt the weight of missing fingers. He hallucinated conversations with his wife, and his grip on sanity frayed. Those logs have become Foundation training material, showcasing the psychological collapse of a brilliant mind in a place that shouldn't exist. This scarlet dimension also messes with tech. Signals degrade, matter behaves erratically, and even thoughts seem to echo. There's speculation that SCP-3001 is a broken piece of the universe, a failed render. Further analysis of audio logs revealed patterns that some researchers believe could represent a language or signal. This sparked theories that SCP-3001 may be occupied by entities not yet encountered. There's ongoing debate over whether Red Reality could be weaponized. Some proposed entrapping other SCPs in it, but nobody's sure what might come back out. Though Scranton never made it out, his logs did, and they raise one terrifying question. How many other Red Realities are out there waiting to swallow the next unlucky researcher? SCP-2006, Too Shy. Meet the class clown of the SCP universe. SCP-2006 is a shapeshifter obsessed with scaring people, but it has the horror instincts of a Scooby-Doo villain. It mimics creatures like the Blob or Count Orlok, thinking it's terrifying when it's honestly just adorable in a try-hard way. But don't laugh too soon. Every time it fails to scare, it learns. It rewatches horror flicks, refines its act, and adapts. The Foundation's big fear is what happens when 2006 finally understands real fear. If it figures out what truly terrifies humans, we might have a whole new class of nightmare to deal with. For now, containment is simple. Staff show it bad horror movies and pretend to be scared. The idea is to keep it happy and ignorant. As long as it thinks it's the boogeyman, humanity gets a pass. Researchers note it's extremely friendly. It greets staff cheerfully and apologizes when its scares don't land, but its shape-shifting potential is limitless. One day, it may mimic something it shouldn't. Several instances were recorded where 2006 attempted to ambush staff, only to break character and laugh when they weren't frightened. These displays of self-awareness hint at growing emotional intelligence, like your dead family member, or your deepest fear. SCP-231, Special Personnel Requirements. There are 7 girls linked to SCP-231. 6 are dead. The 7th, SCP-231-7, is all that stands between us and the end of the world. Why? Because of the Scarlet King, a being of pure apocalyptic energy believed to be gestating through these individuals. To prevent this birth, the Foundation performs Procedure 110, Montauk Daily. What's the procedure? Still classified, but those who've read it are either permanently reassigned or administered heavy amnestics. One high-ranking official reportedly resigned after reading the file, citing moral incompatibility. Each of the first 6 instances gave birth to disaster, earthquakes, plagues, and temporal rifts. SCP-231-7 is the last link, and the Foundation isn't taking any chances. Her containment area is sealed, lined with anti-cognitohazard symbols, and protected by blindfolded guards. Psychological evaluations of personnel assigned to 231-7 show high rates of PTSD. Even without knowing the full details, proximity alone induces nightmares and paranoia. One guard suffered from recurring dreams of a red throne and faceless children. Researchers suggest these visions may not be psychological, but residual effects from SCP-231-7's aura. The Foundation has debated the ethics of this containment, but the alternative, letting the Scarlet King return, is universally considered worse. One researcher said, "I'd rather face 682 with a spoon than let 231 give birth." SCP-1128, the Aquatic Horror. SCP-1128 is an info hazard that describes a massive predatory sea creature. Simply hearing or reading about it while imagining an aquatic setting can trigger the anomaly. Victims are transported into a deep ocean environment where the creature lurks, unseen but deadly. Survivors, what few there are, report being dragged into dark waters even when they were on land. The moment the mental image takes hold, reality bends. Victims suffocate or vanish without a trace. It doesn't matter if you're landlocked. A bathtub, a glass of water, or even a rainy day could be enough. The creature itself is never fully seen, just described as limitless with teeth that scrape the seabed. Those pulled into its dimension often experience intense pressure, disorientation, and a strong sense of being watched. Containment includes audio-video censorship, mimetic filters, and psychological screening. Exposure to SCP-1128 imagery requires amnestics and quarantine. Some researchers theorize the creature exists in a parallel aquatic dimension, accessed through thought. Others believe it's a sentient concept, feeding on fear and imagination. One researcher even likened it to a predatory meme saying, "It's not the ocean that kills you, it's the idea of one." SCP-093, the Red Sea Object. SCP-093 is a red, disc-shaped mirror that activates a portal when held by someone who feels guilt. The mirror opens to a desolate, alternate Earth with a crimson sky and ruins of civilizations that look eerily human. Exploration logs show remnants of societies overtaken by religious cults, technology fused with biology, and towering monoliths etched with unknowable symbols. Most structures are decayed, abandoned, or worse, occupied by humanoid entities that act as if they're being watched. The SCP-093 world seems to tailor itself to the individual holding the mirror. Some researchers encountered twisted versions of their pasts. Others faced full-blown psychological breakdowns. The deeper one goes, the more the reality bends. One researcher claimed to meet a version of himself who whispered, "This is where guilt brings us." He didn't return. Containment involves storage in a lead-lined box and strict usage protocols. The mirror's aura has been measured to subtly alter mood and memory, even when inactive. Analysis of the dimension's temporal flow shows time is inconsistent, sometimes looping or speeding up unpredictably. Personnel have aged years during short visits. The SCP Foundation has classified 093 as both a psychological and dimensional threat, and they've stopped sending in live teams. Only drones now. SCP-027, the Vermin God. SCP-027 is a human host cursed to attract vermin. Rats, lice, cockroaches, centipedes, you name it. The infestation is constant, aggressive, and often fatal to anyone nearby. The host changes every few years, and when it does, the vermin storm migrates to the new unlucky soul. The current host, known only as Subject 027-02, is kept in a reinforced biocontainment cell. Despite sedatives and pest control, thousands of insects and rodents pour from vents, drains, and even thin air. Some personnel say the creatures act with purpose, almost protective. No one knows how SCP-027 selects its host, or if it's a curse, a consciousness, or a living entity, but it seems to carry awareness. When exposed to religious symbols or cognitohazardous material, the vermin exhibit coordinated defensive behavior. In one breach, the swarm saved the host from an armed attacker by overwhelming him in seconds. Researchers are split. Some see a hive mind, others suspect a god-level intelligence operating behind the scenes. Autopsies on deceased hosts show no internal abnormalities, yet scans reveal elevated brain activity near death, suggesting transfer of consciousness or infestation protocol. Whatever SCP-027 is, it doesn't just want to infest, it wants to endure. And judging by the cockroach that saluted a researcher last week, it might even be planning something. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, subscribe, and tell us your favorite SCP in the comments. If not, no hard feelings. Just don't be surprised if your morning coffee starts whispering classified information.